Coaches, welcome back to Bigs Rule the World. We have another quick little episode for you tonight, helping out offensive line coaches. Remember, we're the only YouTube channel dedicated solely to offensive line play. Now, we're getting in last time. We talked about tips for getting your offensive lineman to stay low. I want to stay on that coaching advice track here and crank out an episode for you for getting the most out of your Indy time. Whether you're a 30-year vet or a first-year offensive line coach, I think these tips will help you get the most out of your time. And some of them might be self-explanatory. Some of them might be new ideas for you. Take what you can. Use it. Remember, email bigsruletheworld@gmail.com. Get signed up for our weekly newsletter to get you tips, drills, and skills for your offensive line, as well as some exclusive stuff in terms of videos, courses, and whatnot. We have free and we have paid stuff coming. So get excited about that. First up, tip number one, know your weekly practice time. My head coach probably gets annoyed with me. I text him to get an idea sometimes days in advance. Once again, we're going through our preseason practice routine right now. And I'm texting him sometimes days in advance to get, well, how much time am I going to have? What's practice going to look like? And I want to know, okay, when it comes down, I don't just want to know. I think the no-vice coach will ask, well, how much time do I have with Indy? Well, no. I want to know, how much time do I have with Indy? How much time do we have going over the run game? How much time do we have inside run period? How much time do we have pass protection period? Because I can script different times and know down to the minute what needs to get done and how much time you have to do it. If you have a 10-minute Indy period, okay, are you going to spend the majority of that time are you going to spend the majority of that time explaining a drill? Okay, are you going to spend the majority of your time? If you know you have a 10-minute Indy period, you better plan that sucker out and you better know how to use it. Know how much time you have. That leads me to another tip. Know your goals for each week, okay? So these can sometimes be the same. With offensive line for us, we want to emphasize flying off the football. We want to emphasize staying low. We want to emphasize communication up front. So our drills are going to reflect that. Your goals for the week might change, okay? Depending on the week. If we're having to really emphasize trap that week, you might want to talk to your coordinator or head coach. If trap's going to be an important part of that week, you might want to put in or script in a trap drill. We have a trap drill that I like to go over. Trap right now is not the main focus of what we're trying to do in the preseason. Our preseason right now is going through inside zone primarily. I like that. But I'm able to get in that trap when I need to. Know what your goals are for the week. Preseason's different than in-season, okay? Obviously, in-season's affected a lot by the opponent. For me right now, I'm enjoying what I'm doing. We've installed a little bit, and we're going over and we're doing drills that emphasize different parts of that. Okay, if you have inside zone is a big play for you, man, break it down. Know your goals. If inside zone is my top play, know your goals with getting that done. Emphasize the footwork. Emphasize the double team. Emphasize knowing who you got. Emphasize your zone tracks. There's so many different drills you can do besides just let's line up and run inside zone, okay? Know your goals for each week and know what you need to accomplish those goals from an offensive line skill perspective. Tip number 3, plan ahead, guys, okay? I go out to practice every day with my Indy time scripted, okay? And not only will I script my Indy time, I found I did better. We have a period to go over our run game, and sometimes if I'm coming up with that stuff off the top of my head, I'm losing time. I'm losing precious seconds, okay? If I'm having to remind myself to get different people involved in the offensive line front, especially in the preseason, we want to rotate and get different combinations up and see how they look, okay? Write that stuff down. Type that stuff out. If it takes you an hour, it takes you an hour, but I'm telling you it's going to buy you precious minutes and precious reps throughout the year. I'll script even when we're just going through our run plays on air. That way, I know everything we need to go over. And I don't have to sit there and run through my head, did we run trap yet? Uh, did we run ISO yet? I guess we need to, it's time for the next period. No, you know what next is. You know what's coming next. You know how you're able to get it in. And also, man, you might see, hey, I need to get script in 10 plays with the ones and 5 plays with the twos. If you forget about that going in because you don't have your script, you're screwed. But now I can write that stuff down on the script. I can plan ahead that way. Plan ahead for what your drills will accomplish. Okay, if your goal that week is to run trap, plan those drills ahead. Sit down and come up with the best way to break down trap and to incorporate it into your drill work. And you also got to remember, guys, the offensive line, we're talking about different jobs, okay? We're not one receiver or one quarterback or one running back. Okay, we have 5 different jobs going on during trap, and there's ways you can work them all. Okay, script and plan ahead. If you have people to help you out, use them. That's something I'm trying to get used to right now. I have a couple of assistant coaches who help with the offensive line. I'm not used to that. I have to get used to that though, because that is an excellent tool. If you have assistant coaches who are able to help you out, you can start breaking stuff down into pods. Okay, where we're emphasizing specific skill techniques. So instead of just lining up and running trap, now I can work on tackles, working on walling off the linebackers for the cutback off a trap. I can work on center and guard combinations to the backside one tech, backside linebacker, and the pull. Okay? Use your assistants. Use the other assistants that help you with the offensive line with that. Plan ahead to what their jobs are going to do. Include them in the planning. That way you can go over stuff and they know how the drills are supposed to run, and then let them go, man. This is awesome. Tip number 4, develop your EDD, okay? Your EDD develops throughout the year, okay? What's the first thing we all work on day one? We work on stance. We work on start. Well, I'm a couple weeks into this. I probably spend less time on stance now than I did back at the beginning of practice, okay? We know now how to take our right foot power step. We know now how to take our left foot power step, our right foot zone step, left foot zone steps. We know how to get on the boards. I like this picture of the boards here. Boards are one of my everyday drills that I love to get rolling with. I've talked about our demeanor walk. I love that as an everyday drill. Okay, find a purpose for those everyday drills. At the beginning, your first Indy or 2 might just be your everyday drills. Or you might not get all your everyday drills in. Okay? They change and develop. I'm sure the amount of time that my guys go over footwork now is less than it was the first day. And the amount of time my guys do the demeanor walk drill in is less now than it was the first day. Know that and plan accordingly for what you need every day. All right, beginning of the year, beginning of the off season, I maybe didn't need a zone double team drill because we weren't there yet, but now we are. Okay, plan and develop that where it becomes an everyday thing. If you have Indy every single day, if you have offensive line Indy every single day, hey man, that's a benefit. Maybe you're going to have your everyday drills, and then you're going to have your drills that are just a Monday drill, drills that are just a Tuesday drill. That way you're drilling out. That's why I said, go back to tip number 1. I don't want to know how much Indy time I have in a day. I want to know how much time do I have total in a week, because then you can plan accordingly what needs certain minutes broken down. Also, remember to give these guys water. That's a side note. Keep your guys hydrated. Let them bust ass a bit, but, pat them on the head, give them some water breaks too, if those aren't already scripted into your practice script. Tip number 5, use your downtime effectively. Don't bullshit, man. Okay? This is one thing I got to work on. This is one thing I've been caught doing in the past. We'll go through Indy, boom, 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 boom. We get the team period. I can relax a little bit. No, coach up your guys. Keep your eyes on your guys and make sure you're coaching your ass off in team period, okay? That's what you got to do. The other tip I want to have in this is, okay, if I'm sitting there while guys are stretching, Okay, I feel like coaches like to bullshit when guys are stretching. If you're not the coach leading stretch, there's a tendency to bullshit around and talk to other coaches, get stuff like that done. And then, when the whistle blows, let's say Indy starts your practice. Oh, shit, coach, I got to set up my cones. Oh, shit, coach, my boards are across the field. Oh, shit, coach, I need bags. I'm sending kids to get bags. Don't cut that shit out right now. All right, cut that out right now. Okay, you need to get your stuff done. If they're stretching, you're setting up. If you're not in charge of stretching somehow. If there is a minute in time, you need to be using it to get better. Okay? You don't need to be using your offensive Indy time. If you got 10 minutes, those 10 minutes are golden. Protect those 10 minutes with your life. Okay? Don't use that time to set up a drill. Have that drill set up. That pisses me off. I'm getting on a little hot seat right now because as a head coach, that pissed me off. You bullshit around during warm-up drills or flex or whatever you want to call it. You better have your period set up. That's just me. And, when I was a head coach, I used to start off with team takeoff period immediately afterwards. That gave you even more time to have your Indy drill set up. So get your Indy drill set up and ready to go. When you come out of inside, we come out of Indy, let's say we go to inside run period or we go to team period. Don't be standing in the back talking to the other coaches. Don't be standing around talking about who's playing on Monday Night Football. Know what the play call is. Don't sit there after a play goes haywire and have to ask the play caller what the play call was. You better freaking know it. And you better be running through your responsibilities in your head. And if somebody messes up and you need to chew some ass, you better be ready to chew some ass. I know I got a little testy there, guys, but that's one of my things that as a head coach that I didn't tolerate and I had to put up with some, just to be plain honest. Assistant coaches that don't use your time effectively, be an assistant coach that you'd want to hire as a head coach. Okay, that's a big tip overall. Take advantage of every minute. Be the head coach that you'd want to hire, okay? I'm going to tell you right now, this picture right here of Nick Saban, I bet you he doesn't bullshit with his time. I bet you he doesn't put up with it. Lane Kiffin talks about some ass chewings he's had to receive. Hey, man, that happens. Coach every day like your ass is on the line to get chewed. I love my head coach. First play we did of inside run, my guys fired off the ball timidly and did their steps very slow and timidly. And we weren't dealing with starters. We had, we're small school. We only had a few offensive linemen there that day. We were dealing with who was there. He doesn't chew me, but he yells at them, let's fire off the ball. Hey, man, to me, that was an ass chewing. To me, that motivated me. Now I'm all up in my kids, making sure they're ready to go. Then it snapped me like, I was phased out and now I'm phased in. That's what you got to be like, guys. Hey, guys, that's just 5 easy tips to use your Indy time effectively. Remember, man, anytime, whether I got 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, it's all golden. Plan it effectively, and let's take advantage of it. Remember, we want to score points, and to do that, we got to dominate in the trenches, and to do that, we got to know that bigs rule the world. I'll see you next time, coaches. Remember, pound that subscribe button and send me an email at bigsruletheworld@gmail.com to sign up for our newsletter for tips on, weekly practice drills of the week, different coaching points, and some paid and free content for you that you can't get just from the YouTube site. So hit us up, coaches. I'm excited for what we got coming for you. Until then, coaches, good luck.